Hi, everybody. Welcome to the post-race press conference from the Daytona Supercross 2022. Congratulations to Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, and Chase Sexton for the podium finish in the 450 division. Eli, I'll start with you, and you've had to have been hearing it all week long, definitely all day, the 6, getting that 6-1. And now that you do have it and we're past it, what does it feel like to stand alone with that record and know that that's a record that'll be hard to break with you starting your winning run there so long ago?
It's really just unreal. I mean, I think back on it. I just think of this place, and it's like it's one of those places like where it's either it's good for you or it's kind of not, right? And it's just been really good for me. And today, though, I had a lot of doubt in my mind. I was, to be honest, like not feeling great in practice. I was dinking with clickers and going back and forth on stuff, and I felt like I had my work cut out for me. But once the lights came on, and I don't know, it's just like everything started working again. So 6 is. It's crazy.
Last couple laps, you're catching up to Coop. It's kind of yo-yo back and forth a little bit. What were you thinking there with maybe 2 or 3 to go? Did you have a spot? Did you think you had a spot? He was holding pretty tight.
Yeah, it was yo-yo, and the problem was like I thought I was catching him a little bit in the whoops, but then he would pull me actually after that. I think around the finish line, and then even a little bit before the whoops through the tunnel. So I could never really get really close to him, and then that lap that the pass happened, I was a little bit closer, and then obviously it was a gift on the exit of the whoops, but it was crazy wire to wire. Like we were just on rails really all that whole race.
Congratulations. We'll start with Jamie, MotoX Pod.
Cooper Webb, I'm going to go to you first, man. I know you're not happy, probably a little angry with the way things turned out, but there has to be some positives. That's the best, really, you've looked. That's the best the bikes looked. Like, things are on the upswing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's definitely unfortunate, when you're in that position, but it's racing and it is what it is. But like you said, I think tonight was a huge step in the right direction as far as having the pace and having the speed. And like Eli alluded to, I was reading my board and his time, and we were going back and forth, and I knew he had spots and I had spots. So overall, I'm pretty happy with where I was at. The starts were really good, which was key tonight. It was pretty difficult to pass, to be fair. But overall, like you said, this is, I think, the best I've raced and ridden at Daytona, and the best ride so far this season. Wish it would have came a little sooner, but overall, I'm happy with the spot I'm at.
All right, man. Good job. Thanks.
Mitch Kendra.
Hey, Mitch Kendra from RacerX. I'm going to go to Eli here. Obviously, congrats on the records and everything like that, but I think this is the most points you've had leaving the round 9 in your 450 career. So can you talk about just the championship, and then obviously there's a little bit of shakeup with Jason back there, so you gained a lot of points on him leaving today.
Yeah, it's just racing, and we put ourselves in good position, and I credit that to everyone around me, and that's it, period. And good, just a good group as a whole, and thankful to do it here tonight with the win.
And then real quick, was there any point at that race when you were, like you said, kind of looking to the championship, and were you going to settle for second, or the whole time did you just want to get that win? Can you talk us through that mindset there?
I mean, I was thinking that. I even glanced up at the big tower to see where Jason was, and then when I saw that, it was like, okay, second, I may have to settle with that, but at the same time, Daytona, anything can happen. I just kind of kept trucking along, and that was it, and I never felt like I was in a position getting too wild or too crazy, so just trying to stay on Cooper's wheel as much as I could.
Awesome, thanks.
Nick, Moto Limited.
Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, Eli Tomac, congratulations on 6 times. Towards the end of that moto, we've seen the bike was starting to get hot, coolant coming out. Did the team allude to you at all that this was happening? And did you ever have the thought, hey, we might need to back this thing down and run it home for points? Or did you know anything about that?
I had no idea. They did mention it to me afterward, but it was probably that sand, that sand, and the way the whole track is, it's just a beast. That's it, period. I mean, it's like the Southwick of Supercross. It's torn up. The ruts are all crazy. I mean, before the tunnel jump, it was like, the rut was like more than above the pegs. If you were out of, we were like making this tiny lip on the side. So it was, putting the bikes to the test.
Congratulations, mate. Thanks.
Brad Gephardt.
Thanks, Daniel. Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. Let's go to Chase. Chase, a good start, but sort of raced by yourself a little bit aside from a battle with Barsha. Can you take us through your main event? And you seem a little bit frustrated you weren't able to dice it up with the two guys at the front.
Yeah, I had to get, well, not really that great a start, but kind of got my way to where I needed to be. And Cooper was riding really well, and I felt like I was going good at the beginning. And then as the track broke down and those guys kind of stayed the same, I got a little bit worse. So Eli got by me, and then I think, Barsha was behind me. And I think in the middle of the race, I was riding a little bit better. I started to find a little bit of a flow and kind of start clicking off decent laps, and I think I got myself a little bit from those guys. But yeah, those, like I said, they were riding really good, and as the track got worse, I just wasn't able to, adapt to it, and that's where the gap came from. But yeah, I'm happy to be back on the podium after a few rougher weeks, so I'm excited to move on.
Solid. And quickly for Eli, going in behind Coop into that sand corner, it just kind of, were you able to see it all?
It was just a sandblast. I mean, you can kind of see, and you're just hoping that the rut doesn't go away. The right hander was the sketchy one for sure. It was getting a big hook in it, big like hockey stick rut in it. So, but yeah, you get sprayed in that turn like really bad. It's much as like it like covers your hands. You can feel it on your grips in your hands. So, that section's tough.
Well, as a Canadian, I appreciate the hockey reference. Thanks.
Revista Moto.
Okay. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Cooper, you've had some incredible form lately. Is that
Thank you.
Like a mental reset, a bike setting reset, or a physical training reset? How do you explain, or how do you best explain your form lately?
Yeah, I think a mix of everything. We made a good step, like I alluded to before Minneapolis, and then I think you just build confidence. And I mean, I never doubted myself and what I could do. It was just getting comfortable, and there was a lot going on behind the scenes. So I think just simplifying things, going back to Florida, putting in the work behind the scenes without all the stuff that can happen in California with all the people and whatever you want to call it. So anyway, I think it was just a complete reset for me. And like I said, I never lost doubt in myself, which is easy to do in our sport, especially when things started going downhill. And so, it's good to be back up here, but definitely want to keep fighting for these wins like I have these last two, and see what happens overall at the end of the year.
Great. Thank you.
Ryan with Cycle News.
Chase, yeah, looking at the lap times, you set second fastest time of the race. Can you just talk about your bike setup or anything that you did differently today?
Yeah, I saw that on the monitor after the race. Like I said, I felt good at the beginning, and they didn't really touch the track between the 250 and 450 race, and that's the gnarliest track I've raced at since I've turned to the big class. So I was just kind of searching for lines, and just wasn't really flowing there probably halfway, and then started to get a little better. But yesterday I had a pretty good get off in press day. On that, there was that 353 before the tunnel, and we made a pretty big bike change from yesterday to today. So it was good to see that I felt more comfortable and was trusting the bike a little bit more. But we've kind of stayed similar to what we raced on in San Diego and Anaheim too, and just kind of trying to keep with the basics.
Right on, great ride, thanks.
Trent, Moto Limited.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Trent, Moto Limited. I'll go with you, Eli. At the start of that one, you kind of got stuck in the middle of the stuff that was going on between Mookie and Jason. Was there a point there where you kind of just sat back and let it play out in front of you, because they were, obviously what happened afterwards happened?
Yeah, turn two was it was just sketchy. I mean, it was like a big sandwich. I went in. I tried to like half guard the inside. It's always tough to know how far you need to go inside on that second turn, and I came in and I ended up bumping into Malcolm, and then Jason came inside of me and bumped me, and then it was like a kind of a little bit of an explosion, and then Malcolm went flying off the track. So that was it. I was just in a sandwich, and the turn two is always like that, you know, for us in Supercross. There's always some sort of contact, it seems like. So lucky to get out of that one, you know, clean.
Awesome job tonight. Thanks.
Jason Wygant.
Yeah, thanks. Jason Wygant here, but I missed the beginning, so I don't know what questions are already asked, but I will do my best. Chase Sexton, what's the difference early in the race, late in the race? Do things change? Is fatigue more of a factor? Is the track breaking down more of a factor? Is it different than a regular Supercross the last 10 minutes?
Definitely. I mean, every Supercross breaks down late in the race, and that's something I've had to adapt to from the little bike to the big bike, and I feel like I've done a better job at that this year. This race in particular, the track is just really gnarly. Like that, like Eli said, the jump before the tunnel was like there was nothing there on the face, and it was a big rut. So, yeah, it was a gnarly track. The finish line section was a pretty big rhythm, and it had ruts all the way across. So, I felt like I said, I had to adapt, and I didn't adapt well enough. So,
why in the world?
just kind of go back to this week and try and get better. But we're back to normal Supercross next weekend. So. It's definitely a different animal, this track.
Billy Rainford.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. Hey, first off, I don't know how you guys got back here so quickly. I just got back here to the press room. Oh yeah, golf carts. I saw you. This is for Eli. I mean, obviously you saw the chaos and the excitement from the crowd out there. I would argue that winning your sixth here is as big or bigger than winning a Supercross title. Can you kind of comment on that? Like, how close is this? Like, that was crazy.
It doesn't top the title, but it's very cool, and that's it. It's like I don't know what it is with this place, but it's like it's just worked for me. It's clicked for me, and that's the mindset, you know, you have to have here, and how you have to go about the day here. So it was so cool, and like you said, that was the biggest crowd we've had here, and with the best energy. Like not even close. So it was cool to see.
Nice, congratulations. It was pretty cool to be here for that. Thanks.
Jamie, Moto X Pod.
Hey, Eli. I know every race there's sketchy moments. You guys have been talking about the track. There was a moment watching it on TV coming out of the whoops where you got really sideways, maybe 4 or 5 minutes left, and you still did the triple afterwards. Like, do moments like that stand out post race? Do you even remember that moment? What was your heart rate like, maybe?
I remember it a little bit. It was a pretty good step out, but not anything that was like, oh my, I need to change up my line. I mean, maybe it looked worse, but yeah, I felt like I was okay in there, you know, for what it was.
Right on, man. From this side, it's like death defying.
Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. Oh, on mute.
Thank you. Congratulations to all three of you. This question is for all three of you, actually. Did you guys notice a difference between, like, once you guys were able to go through the practice and through the different heats, between that last heat and the main event? Did you guys notice a difference in your mindset when you headed into the main event?
Start with Coop.
Yeah, I mean, the track conditions change a lot throughout the race night and with all the bikes riding and stuff like that, and it's tough because through the day you're just worried about doing one lap at a time really fast, and as you transition into racing, it's putting laps together, and some things that were maybe fast in the heat wasn't necessarily fast in the main. So that's racing typically at all the Supercrosses, but I think especially here it changes a lot.
Yeah, this track's a whole nother beast. It changes the whole night, the whole day, and I would say this year specifically, it was even more broke down by the end of the night. You know, like bigger ruts, more lines, and just super challenging.
Yeah, as they all said, the track changes a lot. From the first heat race to the last 450 heat race is a big difference in the track. I was second heat today, which was actually good to see a little bit what the track does and breaks down, because it's just, like I said, totally different from the heat race, from the first one to the last one. So, but as far as the main event, you kind of have to take it as a normal race. It's always game time. The heat race is one thing, but the main event's where it pays the points. So you got to be on your toes, and it's a long race. So just putting laps together and being consistent is the biggest thing.
Thanks, guys.
Mitch Kendra.
Hey, Mitch Kendra again from Racer X. We'll stick with Cooper Webb on this one. What did you think about the split lane? Can you talk about, I guess, but your line choice of when you're going to pick the inside versus the outside? A little bit about that.
I think in the heat, I kind of saw the inside outside was working pretty good. The split lanes are always tough. You hope they work out and it's a passing spot, but I don't think it usually does. I was just watching the highlights. It looked like it did tonight for Eli, but I think it's situational. Like everything, one rut gets bad and you might change it up. But I pretty much stuck to mine every lap.
Thanks.
Nick with Moto Limited.
What does it feel like to stand alone with that record and know that?
Thanks, Nick still Moto Limited. Let's go Clipper Webb.
Hold one sec. You guys mute. Someone's unmuted. There we go. Go ahead, Nick.
Good, thanks, DB. Yeah, Cooper Webb. This question's going to keep coming up for a while, I think. 33 points down. Last year, you didn't take the red plates round 10. So is championship still something you're going to think about? Is this, it's going to get down within 25 points soon? What's your thoughts on the championship?
I guess you really do never know. But I think at this level and Eli being in this position before, it's, we're going to fight to the very end, no doubt, and anything can happen. But I would definitely like to be a lot closer. It'd be nice to be, single digits or into the teens. But, we'll keep fighting and doing the best we can and go for race wins. I think that's all we can do at this point, and however it plays out is how it'll play out.
Thanks, Coop. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks.
Brad Gephardt.
Thanks, Daniel. Brad Gephardt, Big MX Radio. Let's go to Eli on this. Eli, one of the things that I seem to think that you do very well at this particular race is being smooth, but also very aggressive. Speak to that a little bit of just how tricky this place can be to sort of still be smooth on the racetrack when still pushing.
That's how you have to ride here, and I think it's because it has so much sand in it. It's like rushing things a lot of times doesn't work, and you have to focus on like momentum and traction, and then not making the mistake. There's so many places when it gets torn up like this where you can't make the mistake, right? And guys just sneak away. So here it's like, yeah, you gotta master the sand and think about traction.
Perfect. Thank you.
Revista Moto.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. Hey, Chase Sexton, you're looked upon as the future of the sport, and especially in the 450 class. What do you see, or what do you learn from watching or seeing a veteran on the track like Eli Tomac winning races at what is arguably at an older age, and you're the young gun. Do you take away something from this, or what do you gain from seeing someone like Eli still winning and still competing at such a high level?
Yeah, on every race I learn, and like you said, I'm still young, but I feel like these guys were at my age too, and they were winning, so it's not like it's out of the ordinary. But I learn a lot from Cooper and Eli. Obviously, those guys are have been at the top of this sport for a while now. So every race is different, but I just try and see how they race, and kind of especially with Eli here, how he attacks the track and breaks it down is pretty amazing. So just trying to learn, and obviously he was really good tonight. You don't win 6 times here for nothing. So third's good, but not great. And like I said, I just want to learn and keep on trucking.
Thank you.
Last question, Jason Wygant.
Yeah, Coop, apologies if you answered this already. Obviously, you were bummed to lose the lead like that, but do you still look at it like progress compared to the last 2 weeks even, which were better? Is this even better than that? Is there a little bit of confidence, even though obviously you didn't get the win you wanted?
Oh, for sure. It was overall a great night. It's never easy to swallow that at the end of the checkered flag, but it is what it is. And like I said, a good night overall. Led all but 2 laps and great starts, back in the mix, and closest I've ever been to Eli here. So I'll take it and try to, like you said, use some confidence and use that momentum to keep the ball rolling and keep plugging away and go after that first win.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Congratulations, Eli, Cooper, and Chase, and we'll see you in Detroit next week.